Hello guys and welcome to Vlogging Project. It's Tony here, your favorite tech YouTuber. Today I've got another special episode of phone stories where I feature rare and most often expensive phones from the past. So today's phone is Vertu Aster or Vertu if you're from Eastern Europe like me originally, of course. So this phone was released in 2014, guys. It's running Android and the price was starting from $6,000. Why $6,000, you might say? Well, you've got sapphire glass on the front, you've got a ruby button over here, real leather and titanium frame. In case that's not enough, let's have a look at the phone itself, because this phone is definitely, worth looking at it rather than me. So let me give you some screen on time with the phone itself. Okay guys, so let's start off with taking it out of its dedicated case. Real leather, really nice. You can see the Vertu marking over here and it still smells like leather, guys. Really nice indeed. I guess this case was more expensive than the average phone nowadays. But yeah, this phone was definitely for wealthy people, not for poor YouTubers like me. Now, this phone is, a few years old now, and as you can see, it still looks in mid condition. Now, real leather on phones usually wears off quite badly, and I think that this real leather was either replaced at some point or the phone hasn't been used that much, guys. But you definitely have to appreciate the craftsmanship and the hand built. Check this out, handmade in England, guys. Really nice. You've got a secret door over here which reveals the battery, of course, the SIM card compartment over here, guys. Check this out, everything is really nice. You've got this a signature of the person who actually assembled the phone. One thing that I don't particularly like is the edge of those screws over here. You can definitely feel them when you run your finger over here, and they're a little bit recessed over here, guys. They should have been flat. Should have been easier for everybody pretty much. On the side of the Vertu, we've got a 3.5mm jack, which by the way is average at the best. You've got Dolby equalizer settings, but it's not very good, guys. Now, this is a titanium frame over here, guys. Really nice. The buttons are titanium as well. A few more screws at the bottom is nice and clean. You've got nothing pretty much. And on this side, you've got the micro USB charging port. You've got some scratches over here on this side, but as you can see, it held up pretty well. And you've got this specialized Vertu button made of ruby, guys, which is well, it has some value to it as well. Over here at the top, things are really interesting as well. I really like this V-shaped cutout over here. You've got a hidden notification LED and the front facing camera. By the way, the front facing camera is just 2.1 megapixel unit. Is Sony IMX whatever sensor, guys, used in many different phones, but it's like 2 megapixels. One of the worst selfies you can see on this phone, unfortunately, and the video was quite horrific as well, although being 1080p is quite bad actually. Testing the front camera of the Vertu Aster, 2.1 megapixels 1080p video, which is surprisingly good, but no stabilization. So when you run, you get a result like that. Let's flip to the back camera, 13 megapixels, yeah! Let me just come back to the rear while we're talking about the camera department. The main camera is a 13 megapixel Sony IMX 135, the same as the Xperia Z, Galaxy S4 and LG G3. It has definitely quite a lot of potential, guys. You can still shoot fine photos with good HDR. The videos are 1080p, but the digital image stabilization is one of the worst that I have ever seen, guys. At the back of the Vertu Aster, we've got a 13 megapixel camera with digital image stabilization, which sounds very good, but it depends how it is when we run like that. Does it do a good job? I seriously doubt, since that's such an old phone. But nevertheless, let's flip the phone on the other side. Check this out. Over here you've got two front-facing mono speakers, guys, which definitely help with the overall audio quality and volume, but unfortunately they're not the best. I mean, they sound good and they're front-facing, this is good, but back in 2014 that was one of the best setups in terms of speakers. As you can see, this piece over here took some damage, because I can imagine if you leave the phone flat like that, that's what scrapes the surface. But anyways, the screen is a sapphire display, guys, which means that you're never getting any scratches on the screen, which is pretty much excellent. So many years down the line, the screen is nice and fine. The screen size is 4.7 inch 1080p LCD screen, and the blacks are quite deep, guys, which is excellent, because that was the norm back in the day, although we already had 4K screens on the LG G3. Guys, in terms of specifications, you've got 64 gigs of storage with just 2 gigabytes of RAM, which is kind of okay back in the day, and Snapdragon 801 over here. And unfortunately, this is the theme throughout the whole phone. I mean, 2 gigs of RAM, they were already 3 gigs of RAM phones like the OnePlus One, for example. 1080p screen is fine, there are already better screens, AMOLED ones, and there were 4 screens already. Snapdragon 801 was fine, but 805 was out. The camera is one generation behind, and 2014 was probably the best year for smartphones, guys. You have the HTC One series, you've got the Samsung Galaxy series, you've got the Xperia, you've got the Motorola, you've got pretty much one of the best phones made on the market back in the day. And Vertu, for that price, is coming out with a little bit outdated phone, which is not good. Now, on the software side, there are some tricks. Check this out. This is really nice Vertu, a lock screen clock over here. Oh my god, yeah, I'm so excited, guys. You've got this really cool Vertu lock screen animation. Check this out, guys. When you unlock the phone like that, check this out, boom, there you go. And now I'm going to reduce the screen brightness because it's messing up my camera a little bit. I'm gonna just leave it like that, guys. And check this out, you've got some custom buttons over here at the bottom for the navigation settings, which is fine. The other thing which is custom is this, check this out, guys. This is the volume dials over here. They're really nice, and you can access the Dolby application from these buttons, the Dolby Audio as well, which is fine. Let me show you the screen lock animation once again. Check this out, really nice, guys. Otherwise, it's a stock Android experience pretty much. You've got a bunch of Vertu applications over here, and the button, the dedicated Vertu button, when you press it, it brings up the assistants. Now, what was the deal with the Vertu? Because mostly, wealthy people were buying these phones, Vertu was actually offering a service, guys, where you can phone Vertu and ask them to buy concert tickets or whatever, ask for an advice, how to divorce your wife or something like that. The service was starting from about £2,000 per year. That was for the basic service, and I think 3 or 4,000 per year, you can actually book an appointment with a Vertu representative and go and have a coffee and speak with them about whatever you like, pretty much, guys. So it was a very good service. Now it's not available anymore, so yeah, these applications are pretty much redundant, guys. You can't do nothing with them. And yeah, that's pretty much it in terms of let me show you finally the Android over here. As you can see, occasionally the phone just hangs like that. I'm getting just 19 FPS on Kaja, by the way, so it's definitely not a gaming phone, and it heats up. So yeah, you've got stock Android experience. And the thing is, check this out, guys. You've got, Android 5.1.1 with security patch from April 2016, which means that they offered actually an year and a half worth of updates, because it originally came with Android 4.3.4 point whatever. Yeah, so year and a half worth of updates. But the thing is that the bootloader is locked, you can't really root it, I can imagine, and there is no XDA support whatsoever. There are no custom ROMs for this phone. So yeah, that's the thing, guys, in terms of the software. So if you look at my Volokin Spectrum scoring system, where I rated over 160 phones, as you can see, this phone falls shortly of the OnePlus One just by 1 point, just because of this software, support of the OnePlus. But considering how expensive this phone was back in the day, the OnePlus One was like 300 bucks, and this one was over 6,000. You get my point. I mean, for phones like this one where you spend a lot of money on, you definitely want something to last a little bit longer. Not in terms of the build quality. I mean, you can just remove that piece and paint it. That's not a problem. But it's just in terms of updates and this and that. I know for a fact that Vertu kind of went bust after pretty much Microsoft bought Nokia and they didn't buy Vertu, and some other guys bought Vertu and they closed it down after that because they weren't making money. So it all makes sense not to have any software updates after that. But you are kind of screwed with this one, to be honest with you. But the thing is, so many good Android phones over there back in the day, and iPhone 6 was released as well. It was the best-selling iPhone ever, pretty much. So not many people opted out for an outdated spec phone like that, because let's face it, guys, in the Android world, and nowadays people are buying iPhones because of software updates and ease of use. And over here, you just don't get that. Although the premium quality, guys, is absolutely like no other, pretty much. And I'm glad that I can actually afford to buy this phone right now, because if you look in, on eBay, you definitely can find a decent, fully working unit for a very decent price, guys. A phone like that you can easily get for about £500 right now, which is a lot considering how old this phone is. But considering the build quality and the materials, if you need to flex in a particular Eastern European country, you can still do that with the Vertu over here, guys. So yeah, let me know in the comment section below, how do you pronounce it, Vertu or Vertu? I'm really curious to see. And pretty much that's it, guys, for other Vertu phones. Keep subscribing to my channel. Well, keep subscribing. You can do that only one time. But anyways, stay subscribed to volokinproject, guys, because I've got another Vertu phones coming down real soon. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you very much for watching, and I'm going to see you in the next one.